России, если ты такое скажешь публично, тебя посадят. Тебя посадят сразу. Это 282 статья в чистом виде. Ну, вся фишка, что понимаешь, что русские по ним непонятно, что у них на уме. Клянусь короной Российской империи. Вот так оно и было.
Есть у нас такая поговорка: с волками жить, по волчьи жить. Выть, да. Ну и вот я когда после перерыва здесь уезжаю в Россию, я прям чувствую, что там надо прям становиться волком, надо прям становиться агрессором, то есть становиться такими, как они. Я
понимаю, что мы очень русские, что мы очень добрые, на самом деле, что у нас любви гораздо больше, у нас толерантности гораздо больше. И так далее. Да, уже ты не на английский, а то зрители устали от нашего русского.
Hello everyone. My name is Maria and you are watching MoveOn, a storytelling podcast where I invite people like myself who moved to another country or traveled a lot and have a lot of stories to tell. And today my guest is Alex. And it couldn't be more common that the guy from the same country as I am. So he is Russian. And I am Russian too. I know you as an actor. That's how we met.
Well, okay, yeah. That's
too big of a word? Is it too big to say that you're an actor?
I think yes, it's definitely too big to say that. It's a hopeful way of putting it. No, I'm an amateur. I cannot call myself an actor, like 100% actor, no.
So it's like your hobby?
Yeah, it is my hobby. I got a full-time job and this is not acting.
Okay. That's exactly how I know you. I know you through the theater and then from the TV show. I don't know how to call it.
Let's call it a movie.
A movie.
Let's call it a
movie.
Let's call it a movie.
A movie.
Yes, which is not yet released, but I hope it will be one day. I'm not sure when exactly it is going to be, but yeah.
But it's there and it's a work in progress. And
I guess, yeah. yes. I'm not in any way involved in post-production, but I guess the work is going on and I hope that we all going to see it anytime soon.
And I also like that the theater that I've met you it was in English actually.
It was.
And you wrote the
one before, no, of course not. That was Chekhov. Come on.
No, but you did an interpretation or translation or something, right? What have you done? Tell me.
I knew that we wouldn't go for like the full scale performance of the big play of Chekhov, like the Seagull or anything like that.
Yeah,
like his big pieces. No. So what I did, I took 5 stories. I picked 5 stories and I combined them together as 5 separate stories. And in between, I made it, not me, but there was another friend from Minsk. You also know that lady, Helena.
Oh.
Yes. She joined, she was actually within our theater, but then she was 8 months pregnant. And yes, she came to one of our rehearsals and she said okay, let me help you with directing, because I was directing and within just few rehearsals, she actually reshaped the whole thing. It looked much better ever since. And
that's cool.
Yes. So that's basically, cool. It would be fair to say that she directed this, not me. My idea was to perform exactly this very thing. Because our acting group was then going through a crisis because the founding father of our group left for another city. And so the entire group was about to collapse. So I knew that we were supposed to act quickly. And so we did. So I picked 3 fellas, myself, 1 Polish fellow and 1 Dutch fellow. I called it an executive committee. So we met at one of the pubs and then it was safe to go to a pub. Yes. And we said okay, let's do something. And I gave them an idea and they liked it. And we started to actually the process of renewal, let's say, of our group. So, and we ended up performing in November and we started in June. So I guess there was a big progress. In the meanwhile, we've managed to involve many people from many other countries, from Finland, I guess, from Argentina.
Oh, wow.
But She dropped off anyway. But
I know Brazil.
and the Brazilian fellow, he joined it with us. He joined us much later, and we were about to perform another time, but a different thing. But then COVID came.
Oh yes.
So it was a lot of preparation, and it was all in vain. Yeah, all was in vain. All was in vain, and so yes, that performance I remember that because it was a lot of work. Hellishly a lot of work and a lot of costumes because it was my favorite. Yes, I must admit, my favorite belle epoque, the beautiful epoch. Let's say the end of the 19th and the beginning of the 20th century, and the costumes, the original costumes. Yes, we had to, let's say, rent them. Before the performance, they were in my house, so I brought them in the day of the performance. The entire week I only slept maybe a few hours a day, so I was totally vanished, totally exhausted, but it was my last strength. I collected myself and I performed. But right after the performance, I even met several people. Actually, yes, I met you.
Yes.
But I don't remember. But I had a hard time remembering.
Yeah, but I remember you was smashed. You was like Walking Dead.
Yes. Now, are you waiting for someone else?
Oh, maybe it should be a Poznan for one of the girls. Please open the door.
Holy Jesus, Mary and Joseph, that's my wife. Now, whose dog is this? I will not let this matter rest. I will teach you people not to let your dogs loose. It's time something was done about people who do not respect the law. I'll punish the owner. I will show him who I am. You'll get it. Find out whose dog is this and draw up a report. It was back in February of 2015 when we actually started off.
And is it always in English?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Because we have plenty of foreigners in Poznan. It's more and more of them, of us. Let's say. Well, I'm a Polish citizen already, but
don't brag.
I'm okay. Okay.
Some of us still.
Let's consider this bragging. Yeah. Let's consider this bragging.
I know what you mean by that.
I know. Yes. And we said okay. And these foreigners, they don't have any other kind of entertainment except for sitting in a bar. I don't know. So why not to do the theater? So it was the Dutch fellow, Dennis, who is now working in another city. Had a very actually high position, one of the companies here in Poznan. I wasn't just a regular dude. So he issued a call if anybody would like to join his acting group. I heard this call, and actually it was the very first meeting where I saw Helena, that my friend, we used to study together. I knew she lived in Poznan, but that's where I met her again after years. And we started off. I didn't take part in the very first performance, but the second and the ones after, all of them afterwards, yes, I did.
But what's now is going on with the theater?
I mean,
pause.
It is paused for a moment, but I guess we will resume. It all depends on how the pandemic situation will look like.
Yeah,
because it's not safe to perform and to rehearse in that conditions, under that conditions, and as long as the situation gets stable, then I guess we would return. And then I guess because we had a fellow from Egypt and he left home. The other fellows that said okay, we cannot count on us anymore because we were busy. Some of them became parents in the meanwhile. So it's not up for them now to perform. So I guess we will do some kind. we'll issue a call for casting for new actors, for new talents. Yes, and we have material to work on.
So you have a hope that it will do.
Well, I cannot say it is a hope. It's like a plan.
Okay.
It's just a plan.
Okay.
Yeah,
because it seems like it's falling apart. People are leaving. People are getting their life. Whatever.
Yeah, sure, but as long as it's never been a problem to find people who would be enthusiastic about this.
Nice.
And as long as we have people like this around, because you don't need to have any skills. Come on, this is just a hobby. Just a hobby that makes you believe that you weren't born just to, spend your life in the office or now in home office, whatever. I love it. I love theater much more than I love many other things in my life. So it's really something that gives me a lot of energy and a lot of hope. In the meanwhile, I've been working on a few scenarios, scripts.
Writing yourself?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Which language?
English.
In English?
English, yes. English. And one in Polish, actually. But it didn't work.
That's because you just wanted to put yourself into that, or you want this to be like on the stage performed?
I didn't have, no.
No?
Never. Because,
like no plans for that. It's just like, I want to write.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
I have an idea, let's just express it on the paper.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? When I had the lockdown, when I actually I couldn't leave my house. Yes, and what else had it? I had nothing else better to do. So that was the case. No argument. Please do not teach Russian to speak Russian. Come on.
I think we suck at our language.
Who?
Russians.
It all depends. Somebody do. Somebody does. Some people do. Some people do. Some people don't.
How many languages do you speak?
Like speak? 3. It's Russian, Polish, and English. Get a basic command in German. I have a passive knowledge of Ukrainian. Like, I understand Ukrainian. Yes, I can write in Ukrainian, but it's I kind of shy to speak because it's a completely different level of phonetics.
I have a question because that's the common argument I have among international people when they say, "Oh, come on, you're Russian. For you, probably Polish language is so easy," which is not. And what I say is that Ukrainian is more closer to Polish language rather than Russian and Polish. So it's kind of Russian, then Ukrainian, and then Polish. How do you feel about this statement?
Well, it's not about feeling. It's about, how do you call it? This whole thing been under, not investigation, but under study for years. Okay. And like from the first point of view, yes, Ukrainian language seems to be much more similar to Polish in many respects. But if you go deeper into the into grammar and everything, you see that Ukrainian is much more similar to Russian than to Polish. But I don't remember.
So it's in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle, but the point is that the phonetics, the vowels that the Ukrainians use that they don't have in Polish language. And this actually give away their foreign accent at once.
Okay, accent. Okay.
That's number one. And in that term, among other languages, I would say that the Belarusian language is the most close to Polish. But Belarusian is actually almost not spoken language at all.
Yeah.
Almost. No, I guess I would agree with you. And that our native language is Russian. It is helped to some extent, but in many cases, these are false friends, let's say. And Russian language is pretty much different from Polish, to that extent that the Russian person wouldn't understand Polish at first. Like when I first heard Polish, I was actually terrified. I thought that I would never learn the language. But it took me, I guess, pretty long. At least half a year to start being more or less fluent in Polish.
Fluent? I'm living here for 5 years. I I'm
I
not
was 21
fluent
years
still.
old.
And what?
I was 21 years old, and I had a Polish partner with me at all
Okay, yeah,
times.
but actually-
at all times, and actually, that was kind of her that she motivated me. She motivated me because she said, "Okay, please give up. You will never learn Polish to that extent, so we'll be able to communicate in Polish." That's what she said. Like, okay.
Really? She challenged you.
Yes, she did, and
Wow. Usually they are very pushy, to be honest. If you are in a relationship with a Polish person, they are very pushy.
We didn't have problem with that. We didn't have problem with that. We were communicating as we met in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she's, I guess, the most unlucky woman in the world.
Why?
She went to the United States and she met Russian. I guess she's just number 2, right after Gagarin, the first astronaut. Talking about the, unluck in his life, because Gagarin, as you know, he flew around Earth and he ended up in Soviet Union.
I mean, you have a high knowledge of Russian language.
Quit flatter me. No, I'm just,
Yes.
I'm just...
I just have a high education about that.
No.
Yes.
I graduated.
You are a linguist.
In Polish language. In Polish language. Not in Russian, in Polish.
Aha.
So...
Okay, so why are you that good in Russian language? You are very good. You're very poetic, and is it because of theater and books and literature?
Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm good. Actually, I even when I've been talking to people whose ancestor left Russia right after the revolution, so they spoke that very forgotten, the old Russian at home.
Yeah.
Then I met them in France and I met them in the United States, and I was really ashamed of the way I speak my own language. So that was really high level Russian. My Russian is pretty common. Okay, let's put it that my Russian is kind of, I don't know, poetic or anything like that. Let's put it this way. Okay, fine. I guess that would more about, the movies, the books and everything. Or maybe just because I try to, to use the highest language, the most, let's say, elevated language possible. But there's a reason behind it, because as you might know, I don't know if the viewers would be interested in this at all, but you have probably noticed that a common man in Russia, they use very low class language.
Okay, I agree.
And even those who you would expect to sound like normal, they use a lot of vulgar words and everything. That's why I try to avoid it.
Okay.
At any cost. Just to give it away, it's not really natural. It's not really natural. Like it's
so
not. So
you're aware of it.
Of course I am.
For me, it was fascinating. I never met someone like this. You are like from another century for me, which is adorable, but it's beautiful. So for people who doesn't know, yes, you can speak like high level of Russian or low class Russian. I don't know. I mean, maybe in any language you can do that.
I mean, no.
But in Russia, there is something like from the empire time.
Belle époque.
Yes.
La belle époque.
Yeah, the language was different. Actually, it was, they mixed a lot with the French, I believe. No?
It's a separate topic. Yeah, I mean, it was told that French was the language of the elite.
Yeah.
Both French, German, English back at that time already.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but they also spoke perfect Russian. You may find it easily on YouTube. These, the recordings from the 50s and the 60s. Those people who left Russia back then. You may hear the way they speak.
Well, now I want to see.
People don't speak this way anymore.
Yeah,
that's the forgotten language.
Exactly.
And when I see the movies about this Russia, like before the 1917, and when I hear them speaking the common language, yeah,
it's different.
Stanislavski would say, "I don't believe you. I don't believe you."
Language, in general, any language is a living organism.
Oh, yes.
So it's changing.
Absolutely, yes.
And I think what helped me in my learning of Polish language, this old Russian literature.
Mm-hmm.
So those words that already forgotten in Russian language is still used in Polish language.
Like oczy.
Oczy, yes, izba.
Izba, yes, many words.
Many words that I cannot recall maybe.
Archaic. The archaic words that are not used in Russian language anymore.
But it was, yeah.
And they're actually words which are archaic in Polish, but are commonly used in Russian. Several words like this. I've found the first that appears in my mind is нельзя.
Okay.
In Russian, нельзя, so you cannot. In Polish, it's very archaic form, the poetic form, niełza. Niełza. That's how they call it. That's to the best. I could have screwed something up at the moment, but the common sense is this: to refer to each other in plural. Like you, like it's in translate. You cannot really translate this into English.
Yeah,
yes, It's like the and so on, like the. In Russian, we still use it. In Polish, they used to use it like years ago.
Yeah,
but now they don't use it.
Mm-hmm.
And in Russia, it is still very common.
Also, kavaler.
Kavaler. The bachelor. Yeah, the bachelor.
Which is like if we use such words in Russian, it's more like sarcastic way and more to offend someone.
I remember each time when I say that in Russia,
Mm-hmm.
I can see the smiles on people's face at all times. When I need to ask something like, excuse me, sir, like, excuse me, gentlemen, people, because that's the problem, you would know in Russia, because how to get someone's attention, how to refer to a person you don't know.
I know, right?
Excuse me,
So,
young man.
no one, yeah.
And I remember once, it was just when I was already in that stage when I was a big fan of Belle Epoque. I approached 3 gentlemen in the airport in Moscow and asked them, excuse me, gentlemen, is this the right line to that plane that departs to Berlin? Like, excuse me, gentlemen, господа.
You referred like господа?
Господа, like gentlemen in a very official way. Господа, and they're like,
oh wow,
excuse me. And how else? Comrades?
Well, yeah, that's yes, товарищ.
Citizens?
Женщина.
Yeah, woman.
Woman.
Yeah, actually, my wife was shocked when she heard, like, excuse me, why would you refer to this lady as girl?
A woman, yeah.
Girl. I mean, like.
Oh, girl. Yes, девушка. Right? Yeah, I absolutely adore how Polish people use pan, pani, państwo, to refer to someone as a third person or like not be, how to say, it's not explicit, but...
I understand.
Yeah?
It's very common, and this happened actually to my mother as well.
And Russia is like nothing.
Yes, because when my mother came here, it was, the common story. I actually read about the story, and that's why I was, made me laugh so much when I heard my mother telling just very same thing. When we went to the store, we saw a homeless man ahead of us, just buying something he just had his pockets full of change, and then he take it all off and threw it on the table in front of him, just trying to buy some booze, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady behind the counter, she was just saying like, okay, please, sir, pan, proszę pana, excuse me, sir, please, just do your business quick and go away. And then my mother asked me, excuse me, this man is also pan? He's also a gentleman? It's like, yes.
He deserved to be called pan?
Yes, gentleman, sir,
Wow.
really. But they cannot even realize how Soviet they behave when they try to be anti-Soviet. But it's a different topic. It's a different topic. You just don't behave like a character from the Russian literature. The fatalism, everything's bad and going to be even worse. I'm not sure
we're
I'll
gonna
make
die.
it. We're gonna die. That's it. In French literature, I'm gonna die for love.
Yes.
Yes, in
I'm gonna die for honor.
For honor. In Russian, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. But I remember this, let's say, first months that I spent in Poland. It was back in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
It was really, these were very nice days, nice times, so to say. Yeah, I miss them, but it was already in the past.
Oh, no, don't be sad. Come on.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying like I'm being melancholic at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, melancholic. That's the
Yes.
red line, I think. I don't know, what do you think about us being melancholic? Russians being melancholic?
I mean, it depends on the person.
No. I disagree.
Okay. Okay.
Did you read our literature? It's so depressing. It's so like sad
Really?
and like
Really?
Yeah, yes. It's very like heartbroken thing. And I know.
Okay. And have you read Polish literature? Have you read
No,
German?
actually, no.
German? Or maybe English? Like, I don't know, Great Expectations, this novel, written in the 19th century. Or maybe, have you ever heard of the Irish poet, writer, whoever, James Joyce? Or maybe, I don't know. Yes. You probably refer to the most famous Russian writer. I guess this is Dostoevsky. Yes.
I have a hard time to find someone positive.
Kuprin.
Okay. I mean, we can find someone if we
can.
Yeah, we can.
We can, of course.
But
we can.
like
But it's like, it's just like life is. Is life always positive? No. Life not always positive, and this is the first thing. And
but it's very hard to read, to be honest. I mean, my heart is bleeding every time I'm trying to read Russian literature.
Okay, I will tell you. I will give you some recommendations.
Like the list of positive things.
What to read, which would be interesting.
Okay.
And so on. So yeah, I mean.
Do you remember that at school they forced us to read these pieces about prison? I believe it's Solzhenitsyn.
I mean, you're lucky that you had Solzhenitsyn at home. School.
At school?
At school.
You didn't? I mean, it's a school program.
No.
Yes.
We didn't have it.
Oh, wow. Oh, weird.
I even saw him alive.
For real?
Yes. Just maybe less than 2 years before his death, and he died in 2008. Yeah, so I had a chance to see him alive. That was really, really cool. But this understanding that I just saw the living legend, the last Russian writer of that scale, the Nobel Prize laureate, that was something incredible. That came much later. But look, I guess these are not novels for children. Let's put it this way, not for old children, because I was actually interested in that.
Okay.
Because there was, if maybe these books were a bit exaggerated, but don't forget, I'm not sure if you know, but he was a convict himself. A convict, he was sentenced.
Okay.
He was in Gulag himself.
Exactly.
He was a scientist. He graduated physics, I guess. Yeah, physics and math. He was a physicist. And he was taken to one of these places that used to be called Sharashka, so the kind of prison for scientists. So they were inventing new things in exchange for their freedom. That was done in the 40s and 50s in Russia. And just because while being a soldier, not a soldier, but an officer, he was a mayor in the Red Army during the World War II, he had the courage to share his thoughts with one of his friends in a private letter. So that letter was read by somebody from censorship, and he was sentenced for 10 years. Just for that. So life story, the man is extraordinary.
Yeah,
and he left for the United States, and he didn't want.
Like many.
Yes.
Many escaped that time.
He was lucky that he lived in the times of, let's say, because, the history of our country is very harsh. He had luck. If he did what he did, and if he would have written what he wrote a couple of decades earlier, he would share the, fate of Mandelstam, who died in prison, or maybe of Gumilov, of Nikolai Gumilov, another writer who was executed. We don't know. That's why it was 90s and the beginning of 2000s when and people here ask me, how come that in high school you don't have any other writers during the literature, just Russians, just all Russians? I was like, but we have it before.
We had a lot.
No, I mean, at least at my school, we only had Russian writers.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yes.
Only Russians.
Yes.
In high school, just this. And I was like, okay, let's put it this way. Actually, that not many literatures, to put it this way, that may compete with Russian literature, because Russian literature is well known all over the world.
Yeah, for a reason, right? For a good reason.
Yes, of course.
I mean, it's well written. It's just, for me, it's too heavy. And
tastes are different, of course. Tastes are different.
But for me, as a child, for me, it was super heavy.
As a teenager.
Okay, teenager, yeah.
Okay, still a child. I was very interested. Especially was Kuprin and Dostoevsky and Tolstoy. I was really in love with all of them. And poetry, of course. The Silver Century, Acmeism, Akhmatova, Tsvetaeva. These were the times, I wish I was there, at least for one day.
Oh,
it would be
wow.
enough, just, I don't know. It was my dream to, one day to wake up in Petersburg in 1913. I don't know. It will never come true. And my friend asked me, where is that? Like, it's in Sochi. I'm like, the palm trees? Yes. Yes. Excuse me, but isn't it where the Winter Olympics was? I'm like, yes. I was like,
Yes.
wait. So you made the Winter Olympics in subtropical climate? Like, yes, we did. Russians are not the heaviest drinkers in Europe.
Yeah.
We actually drink less than the French and the Germans. It was a lot of fun. Really.
So what did you do? What was the reason to travel there?
That was my first abroad trip ever.
For real? And
Yes.
it took it like across the ocean?
That's why it's so crazy.
Where should I try like my first deep, another side of the
United
planet?
States. Yes, that's why I was so crazy. I was 19 years old. Just imagine yourself that I took a flight from my town of 600,000, back then 600,000 inhabitants, first to Moscow, then through Zurich, straight to New York.
Oh, wow.
Within 24 hours, I made it to New York. I was impressed, but I wouldn't say that I enjoyed that. I was actually shocked. I was terrified when I first saw it. Then I made it all the way to the city where I live, Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. It took 17 hours to get there by bus. I don't know why everybody was so exhausted, because 17 hours trip for Russia.
That's our holiday trip, yeah.
It's almost like a suburbs.
Yeah.
So you may consider, in Russia, you can consider Myrtle Beach to be suburbs of New York.
Yeah.
But the United States it's a huge country. It's huge. It's big. Not as big as Russia, but still.
Mm-hmm.
And I had luck, actually. Now, from this perspective, I can see that I had luck to be there when before the crisis hit. So I could see a little bit of this old America before this.
What year was that?
2007. It already started, it already hit America a little bit, but not to that extent.
Okay.
But I was back in 2008, and then 2009, I could see the situation worsen. I won't want to even scratch upon the most, let's say, topics like that in terms of what was the most shocking experience for me in the United States, because
no, that's exactly what you have to tell me. That's exactly what. Okay, what?
I didn't think that in America I would face such a horrifying poverty
Oh,
of many citizens.
okay.
This I didn't expect, because I was told that America is number one country in the world, number one economy in the world, American dream and so on. I was like, yes, for many people, it happened. But for many people, it didn't, and it will never happen.
That's
I see
crazy.
the ghetto when in Russia, we, you would know, we don't have ghettos.
What do you mean we don't have poverty?
We do. We ghetto where you can only see, for example, ghetto for black people, where only black people live there. We don't have many black people in Russia to begin with, but we have other minorities.
We have Gopnik and regions where Gopnik lives.
It's not the ethnic group, anyways.
It's not, but we
But
are
it's
separating them. I mean, they are.
I think this is they are about to extinct anyway. Yes, I didn't know there was there were so-called crime watch zones. So these were the parts of town where you better not go into.
Oof.
I didn't know that.
And they say Russia is dangerous. Russia is like a sweet little pie.
I mean, no, Russia is not ideal, but
Not
Russia is
ideal,
not
but-
told to be ideal. People all know about Russia. I mean, that's why.
But they're terrified of our country,
but that's
right?
why when mostly people go to Russia, they're pleasantly surprised.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's why when people go to the United States, they are unpleasantly surprised at many points. I didn't see so many homeless people as I saw in the United States. Never. I didn't think that actually in a country like the United States, you can actually be worried being a big white man, almost white man, walking through the streets at night, that you can actually be worried of being, I don't know, beaten up or stabbed or whatever. I got beaten up twice in the United States, got robbed twice.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Twice in the United States.
And for the comparison, how many times in Russia?
Like robbed? Not a single time.
Exactly.
Not a single
Beautiful country.
beaten up, but for something different. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. And that's number one. Number two, I expected Americans to be very much materialistic, but they actually weren't.
For real?
No.
I have the same expectation. Like, idea.
They can give you a lift anywhere you want. Not anywhere you want. Like, you want a lift? I will drive you. They drive you to another part of town. They don't want anything. They invite you for dinner. They don't want anything from you. They can really help you, like, really. Comes straight from the heart, from the bottom of their hearts. So it's nice. It's really nice. When I was 16 years, it's 2005. So for them, from that perspective, the 1991, when it was still the USSR, it's just like 2005 from today's perspective. They still consider Russians to be as aliens. They look at, these are Russians. They're Russians. They're real Russians. They're Russians from Russia. Like, yes.
That's weird.
That's weird, but...
a lot of Russians immigrated to United States. Like, a lot?
No.
Huge
And another
amount.
story, like, it doesn't matter where you came from. If you have the Eastern European accent, you're Russian. Even though the Russian accent cannot be mixed with anything. It's the scariest Russian accent. We're just talking, yes. And I never had an accent like that. I mean, similar, but not...
Neither do I. That was actually that's a fun story, because for me that was the first thing to learn to do. Is to imitate the accent, because I was so terrified that people will associate me with a bad Russian woman from better neighborhood. And I was like that. So before the grammar, I've learned accents. I was copying like a parrot or a monkey. Exactly.
Mimicking.
That's why my grammar sucks sometimes, but the accent...
You overcorrect yourself at the point now. Now that I know this. But I say I know.
I'm still not fighting inside of myself about the idea that we are bad guys, and I'm trying to...
We're nice fellows.
We are nice, but that's the first reaction that you get from people, that you have to reassure them that you are nice.
I mean,
you can smile.
No? I didn't have that.
I'm always stressed to meet new people and say that I'm Russian. I would die in the United States. because I'm very scared. They have a different perspective of us.
But I remember this actually was a huge. That was a really fun story because we were in a convenience store and a gas station, let's say, myself, and I just saw a guy, two fellas. They were speaking Russian to each other, so I approached them. It was my very first year in the United States. Started talking to them in Russian. Hello, hi. And then another Russian came to the store. He joined us. And then another. So we were like 5 Russian fellows talking, drinking coffee. Talking like, from that perspective of the American, yes, we were talking this way to each other. And I remember this terrified old American. Oh. He approached like, where are you guys from? He was a redneck. Hey, fellas, where you fellas from? And one of us, he says, so like, you just try to visualize that. Like, we are Russians.
Oh my god.
So the poor guy, he probably remembered the times not just the Cold War, but the World War II. So like, it really drove me crazy, drove me nuts in the United States. Is there, because I was in the South, southern part of the United States, the obsession with guns. There was something.
Wow.
I could see like, okay, because there was I had just the guy I knew. He had a gun in his car, like next to his seat. It was like, what is that? Is it a toy? He said no. I was like, really?
Crazy.
Was and the guy wasn't my age. Was also then 19 years old. Travis. It's like, yes, it's a gun. I'm like, is it yours? I'm like, yes. Yes, it's mine. I was like, and that's like and then I realized that every dude could be weaponed. Okay, you did something illegal. For example, you crossed the red light yesterday. Just tell this to me that I crossed the red light yesterday, as if it was a big secret. Just say it.
Hey, I think I broke the law yesterday. I crossed the street on the red light.
I know. But from the Russian lips, just imagine like KGB still watching you. I know. Yes, you get to be Russian, so that had this feeling. I know. It was on TV. It was a TV show like Alec Baldwin. He was playing Donald Trump. I think this, you couldn't find a better man to play Donald Trump than Alec Baldwin. So it was this, comedy, the parody on Donald Trump and Putin, a meeting of like, oh, Vladimir, such a great surprise. I composed an email to you, but I haven't even sent it yet. I know. It was
yeah.
So if it would be anybody else, it wouldn't be that feeling. But for the Russians, yes.
Yeah.
Russians, okay. Russians are considered to be cruel. Yes, maybe. This is the stereotype. But Russians being cruel, but Russian cruelty is some kind of intelligent cruelty. It's not a cruelty of the savages. No, it's something different.
It's an art.
Yes, especially I'm not sure because yes, they may consider that the Russian man could be the savages, the barbarians, but not Russian women. When they see the intelligent Russian woman, yes, the foreigners think that this could be a hard type. This could be a hard type. The Russian women are never simple. Never simple.
Okay.
That's what my perspective, what I heard, what I saw, and so on.
I also agree that the Russian men and Russian women sort of different in terms of behaviors, but those stereotypes kind of drives me crazy, and I don't know how to react on them. I still don't know about this being KGB and etc. So that's the first approach. Like if I'm acting too like I have a secret, like, and I don't know. They're like, what are you, like an agent or whatever? I'm like, come on, seriously.
Yeah, even if I was, do you think I would have told you? Another story is because I'm not sure.
Go ahead.
We never had a drink together.
No, because we don't drink. I mean,
I don't drink.
I mean.
It's like, are you sure you're Russian? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Are you sure you're Russian? Oh my God. Yeah. Yes, I am sure. I have a passport.
Passport.
I'm super happy that you came, and it was a long time since I invited you and you're finally here.
Yes, I'm also very glad.
Yeah, nice that we covered that. So thank you and see you next time, guys.
See you next time.
Bye.